Sarah from When Dogs Talk. I'm sitting here with my friend Hershey. We did a video the other week on fetching and positive ways to encourage your dog to fetch. Today I want to talk to you again about Hershey's insistent personality. It is part of who he is. He's very passionate. He's an A+ person. He would have done great on Wall Street, wouldn't you? But he came back as a dog, and we want to make him fun and happy and easy to live with. One of his early behaviors began when he was about 4 months old, long before he met me, and that was just whining when he felt overeager or excited about something. And his owners did what a lot of owners do. When he whined, they talked to him, they made eye contact. If he was whining at a door, they would open it. If he was whining, eager to play with a toy, they would play with it. And what happened is that our overeager student learned to be a masterful whiner. He was an Olympic whiner when I met him. But it does grate on the nerves, as anybody who has been around a very urgent dog knows. This often happens too with jumping. People think jumping's adorable when a dog's little and they're an eager, happy dog and they want to learn how to do things and they want to be involved, and so they become very adept at jumping, and it's hard to break. It's not necessarily a dominant behavior. It's annoying from the perspective of the person, but for the dog it's very effective. So he came to live with us for a little while. His owners asked us to figure out what they could do to help him stop whining. The first thing we did is we taught him a few tricks, which were very easy. He liked to learn those. You good boy? And the next thing we did is we started to encourage him to sit for everything he wanted. So when it's time for his food, he would get very excited, he would whine, he would jump, he would get overeager, and we would just hold the bowl calmly, look at the ceiling, until Hershey sat for his dinner. The other thing we never really got terribly upset with was a little bit of jumping, as long as it wasn't overeager. When he jumps, we simply ignore him. And then we used his favorite obsession toy, his ball, to teach him a strong stay. So I don't think there are many people in the world that Hershey loves as much as he loves his tennis ball. But what we did is we got a case of balls, about 80 balls, we put them all over the house, and at every bend and turn, we simply took the ball and taught Hershey the biggest trick of all: stay. Okay. Hershey would not get his ball until he held still and stopped whining. Now, for about 4 days, he didn't get his ball a lot, because he was whining and jumping, very insistent, as would be expected. It's what he was trained to do. So what we introduced Hershey to is the signal for stay. Okay, good boy. And we'd reward him every time he was quiet and he could quietly wait for his ball. Again, the focus wasn't originally on competing for the ball and throwing it every time. It was just getting him to sit still and to stay quiet. Go give. We started to pair the word give every time he spit the ball out of his own volition. You'll see in a minute how that effectively teaches the dog what the word means. Stay. Okay. The final questions his owners had for me is, how do we get him to sit still during dinner? Because the insistent whining doesn't seem to end when the meal begins. So what I introduced him to was a station mat. This is where he learned to stay. And I introduced Dr. Sophia Yin's treat and train, which I've taught you about. We've used with puppies. I'm a big fan of it. We put some of Hershey's meal in here. We position it on the mat. He was offered when he came to live with us for a bit. On your mat. And Hershey learned, come, Debbie. Initially, when Hershey would just show interest in the treat and train, just be turned on. Not yet, silly. Not yet, silly. Initially, we got him accustomed to the noise because he was a little startled by the noise. Here we go. Down. And then we taught him to work the treat and train. He would have to lie on his mat. Initially, the treats came every few seconds. And now, when we eat a meal, I would say we have to hit the dispenser every minute or two. Sometimes we forget. he seems to stay just fine. He's learned a new habit. Rather than whining, jumping, and being overall annoying, he's quiet, focuses on his mat.